All right. So hello, everyone. Again, my name is Michael, and I am a product manager at Deliverr. And what we're going to do today is walk through this deck. Unfortunately, typically I'm joined by Michael, who's obviously a co-founder at Deliverr, and he would walk through the growth slides. But unfortunately, we're having some technical issue with the software that we use to do these live streams. And so with that in mind, I think what I'm going to focus on today is I'll go through the slides that Michael typically presents, and I will try my best to hit on the things that I know things about and things to say. But if I don't, then what I'm just going to do is toggle through the slides and see where we end up. And then we can just reserve the rest of the time to do questions and answers. And I'm happy to spend some time kind of even going through an inbound, showing what that looks like in Deliverr for new sellers, and trying to my best to help you guys out. Just please forgive me that first about the technical thing, and then because it's just going to be me in here, typically Michael and I will work as a pair to read questions and kind of prep them so that we can answer them quickly. So it will just take a little bit more time there. But in the meantime, feel free to, in the question side of the live stream, you can type in a question and just go ahead and put that in, and then I believe others can see it and as well. So with that said, we'll go ahead and get started. So let's see. On the warehouse closure side, at this point, so far, what we've been doing is, well, just because fulfillment is considered a essential service, all of our fulfillment providers are open. We did have one shut down a few weeks ago due to a COVID case in that facility. The facility was then cleaned and then reopened. With that said, we do have typically our inbound receiving SLA is 48 hours, but due to I think some research that came out from some government group, we know that COVID can exist on cardboard like packaging and services for up to 48 hours or 24 hours. So I believe what our facilities have done, and just something that we've done as a company, is reset our inbound receiving SLA from 48 hours to 72 hours. So that does incur a delay. Additionally, we have done a better job of this more recently, but just due to high demand, fulfillment demand, for especially, everybody's buying things online, me included, I'm sure the same is true for you all. What we've done is delayed our standard orders, sometimes up to 24 hours. This just means that we are trying to prioritize orders with a SLA that's tied to like say 2-day. So if a Walmart order comes in, we want to prioritize that Walmart 2-day order over a standard order that doesn't really have a specific SLA. So those are the two major updates there. I think I already just hit on the inbound side. One thing that Michael likes to point out here is that Deliverr is still accepting new inbounds at this time for both essential and non-essential categories. So just know that we're not accepting different products. And again, we already talked about the SLA. Let's see here. Yes, and one thing that we do is on the marketplace policy side, we make sure that we continue to comply with Walmart, Wish, Amazon, eBay in terms of their policies to ensure that if we're delaying an order, that it won't reflect negatively on your merchant account. And something else that's come up is just with fast tag coverage. So we used to offer national fast tag coverage, which meant that, hey, once your inventory was in more than, I think it's really 4, or once it's in 4 fulfillment centers in our network, then we would say that you have national fast tag coverage for this SKU. Unfortunately, all of the carriers are very constrained because of, all things related to COVID. As a result, we've gotten rid of national fast tag coverage as a concept for the time being. And so now we are fast tag coverage is very much tied to how close it is to the buyers in those locations. So you're still ending up with a big part of the country being covered, but we're not going to say that the entire country is covered to fast tag. This kind of goes into that a bit more. So the number of warehouses, SKUs, is stocked versus fast tag visible to a percentage of the US population. So if your SKU is visible, or if you have a SKU that's in one of our warehouses, then it will be visible to 7% of the country. But the more warehouses that we have inventory for that SKU, it will be visible to a greater percentage of the country. And just I guess one thing to point out is that obviously, like when you look at these numbers, we in the past, once you were in 4 of our fulfillment centers, we would allow for national fast tag coverage. But right now, what we're saying is this is only visible to 25% of the population, and these numbers are lower than expected. But this is due to exceptionally below average on-time delivery performance by the carriers, and it's really important to us that we meet the demands of the marketplaces when they say, for Walmart today, we want it to arrive in 2 days. We don't want it to arrive obviously in 3 days, and so that's why coverage is very much constrained in the current moment. These are things that I cannot speak to very well, so I will skip over them. FBA updates. So the latest FBA updates are that FBA is now accepting inbounds for some non-essential categories, but they're still limiting quantities. FBA Prime deliveries times are improving, and FBM listings can beat FBA listings on the buy box if matched on price at a faster delivery time. Now, these are the category performance models. I cannot speak to these because I haven't been the one doing the data analysis for them. So I will just click through them slowly so people can take a look and look at the numbers themselves. This is a slide that Michael likes to focus on to show, the abilities that Deliverr has to fulfill orders on many different channels, but that also to make sure that you all know that you can connect Deliverr to many different channels and then get your products seen by more buyers. And promos for Deliverr sellers. This is a popular thing, but I have not seen it, so I don't know what the promos are going to be. So free inbound promotion. So products in high demand categories may qualify for free inbounds. What you should do is check with your Deliverr representative, either your account manager, probably your account manager is the right person, and reach out and contact them around whether your products, if you believe it's in a high demand category, should qualify for a free inbound. So at this point, we'll do Q&A. And so we have some common questions that are always asked, but again, feel free to put questions into the side panel, and I'll work through the ones that were asked so far. So here, I'll just leave this on this one here. So the first question is, what's the minimum quantity Deliverr accepts? Does it only work for Walmart, Amazon, or eBay? How about dropshipping or Shopify, or dropshipping my private label? So the way Deliverr works is that you can actually send in any quantity of any SKU. If you send in, typically, like the way this has been presented to sellers was that if you sent in a single unit, what we would tell you when you were creating that inbound is that you wouldn't gain national fast tag coverage. However, and that was, because a big part of our pitch to you all is that that Deliverr is, by getting fast tag coverage, that you have a fast tag, Walmart 2-day, for example, on a listing. What we know is that leads to greater sales. And so what we want to do is make sure that sellers know that, hey, if I send in, a single unit, for example, that that product, if it's in a fulfillment center that's close to buyers that are viewing it on Walmart.com, it will have a fast tag, right? They will see Walmart 2-day, but people that are in another part of the country won't see it. And so when you create an inbound, if you send less than 4 units, we're going to say, hey, make sure you send at least 4 if you want to see a national fast tag. Now, the reality is right now, as we just talked about earlier, fast tag coverage is greatly limited, and we're not providing national fast tag coverage. So that's just something to keep in mind. But again, to answer the question, I guess very succinctly, you can send in any number of units that you want to deliver. Getting more than 4 units will set you up for national fast tag coverage when we're not in this extreme kind of environment right now. So Will, if that didn't answer your question, feel free to ask another one and I can try and clarify. So the next question is from Max, and it's, with the multi-channel application, how often are inventory quantities being transmitted to channels such as Walmart? So this is it's a challenging question because it kind of depends on the things that happen to that SKU in Deliverr. So for example, if there's going to be, so let me try and think about the best way to say it. So for example, if there are 50 units in Walmart or 50 units in Deliverr, right? And you have that inventory in multiple channels. So let's say you have it advertised in Walmart and Amazon, for example. Then what's going to happen is if we get an order through Amazon that you've connected, let's say through your listing solution, then what's going to happen is we're going to push inventory. We're going to say that, okay, 1 unit of inventory is now reserved for that order, and it's not available then both in Walmart and in Amazon. So we're going to say there's only 49 units available. So we'll immediately do a push to make sure that inventory is correctly being seen on both channels. In addition to that, we do things like if, for example, we discovered that there's an inventory, we do inventory syncs with all of our fulfillment partners. So let's say that one of the partners discovers, hey, we miscounted it in one of these totes, and instead of there being 10 units, there's actually 15. Once we recognize that inventory adjustment that they'll make in their warehouse management software, we'll then push that update to listing tools. Other examples, let me think, when receives happen. So for example, if we register that inventory, is now available for sale, like you have more inventory in that fulfillment provider because you sent in an inbound, then again, we will push inventory to the listing tools. We also do periodic syncs, even if there's no, what we would call an associated inventory movement. We just want to say, hey, every 2 or 3 hours, we want to check all of our fulfillment providers and see what inventory levels they're reporting for this SKU. It really does depend on the fulfillment provider and the connection we have with them, but this is we do these kind of recurring checks. I think they're pretty much daily at this point. We don't do them more often than that unless something actually changes. And that will also result in us pushing inventory numbers. So I guess maybe to get at kind of probably what the question is really looking for is just are we, now that we have multiple direct integrations where you could connect your Walmart account, you could connect your Shopify store to the same Deliverr account. Whenever we register any type of movement related to inventory that would affect how much the potential for oversale in either of those categories, we're going to push a movement to sync them up appropriately. There's actually no more questions at the moment, but I'm happy to wait here just another minute to see if anyone else has any other questions. All right. So I appreciate everybody logging in and joining. And I'm sorry that Michael wasn't here to do his part of the presentation because Michael's really good at delivering it. And uh, somebody has just asked if, do you have any more insights into current trends for summer products? I do not. I know somebody on our team would have some type of insight into that. I think Michael would be able to answer it. Personally, I do not. Um, you know, I'll just say that my email, I'll just go ahead and give you my email. There we go. If you email me and asking that question, then I'll try and see if I can get an answer from Michael and send you an email back. So again, yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Sorry that Michael couldn't join because he can speak to obviously all of these growth questions way better than I can. We appreciate, obviously your guys' business. And yeah, if you have questions about Deliverr, the best way or like services or products, how things work, it's best to refer to, help documentation, just see if we have an answer somewhere. But if you find that frustrating, you're not getting a good answer, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to like answer questions as much as I can, as much as time allows. Just forgive me if I don't get back to you rather promptly. Yeah, so thank you very much for your time, everyone, and I hope you have a nice day.